Okay. Um, okay. Oh, there we go. I'm hearing something. There we go. I'm hearing something. Okay. Yamis, can you say
Okay.
something so I can see if we can
Okay.
hear you?
Steve Parsons says, okay, now there's sound, audio. Okay, so we're good. All right.
There we go.
Whatever
I'm
did,
hearing
the
something.
audio is back. All right.
Okay.
So,
Yamis, can you say something
in a
so I can see
nutshell,
if
I
we
don't
can
know what
hear
you
you?
Steve Parsons says, okay. I said hello to everybody, went down the list. So I did say your name, it just didn't go through. What's really cool about the technology of what we just did to get this going is I was having internet issues. I already had the live stream going. So seamlessly, relatively seamlessly, I sent Adam the stream key, which is basically the lock and key to allow him to open up OBS, the broadcasting software, and input that into it, and then take over uh, the exact same stream. Okay. Um, Paul Orchard picture is currently should just be the Blacksmiths Church stage. If Adam would like to switch around on the Discord to show that the picture is moving and working, and all that fun stuff. Uh, yeah, but yeah, I'm just a passenger on this show. Yep.
Okay, so it should be working,
Oh, well,
everyone
yeah.
now. Oh my golly.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So Yamas, it looks like you're gonna have to read out the the first thing when it comes to
Okay.
the tool of the week is that first paragraph. So anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. Sorry about the start of the show. Yeah, as Yamas said, getting things sorted out across the world is a little bit difficult when it's you know.
But amazing that we were able to.
Yeah, this is awesome. So okay, Trail Dust, happy celebration of life for your sister-in-law. Um, but yeah, so today's going to be a little bit different. We don't get to see Yama's beautiful face or Sully's beautiful face, and I'm not quite dressed for the occasion this evening, being midnight here in Australia. So we've decided to go with just the Discord chat. So on the Blacksmith Church stage, I do believe our links in the description there, Yamas. Yes, it is. Join the Forge Chat Discord server. So links in the description if you want to jump over there and join us. We do have an option that if you have any live questions, you can raise your hand. So by going to, let me see if I can just show you a little bit better. If you go, let me change it over so you can see.
Okay.
Uh, Okay, so if you go down here, you'll see a show request, and what will happen is you can click on that, and then we will actually can invite you into our chat, ask a question, whatnot. We'll click the invite, and then you ask a question. You can have a bit of a chat, and then once you finish your question, we answer it. Of course, you can go back into the audience, and that's how that works. So I'll just stretch this back out
All
so that's not necessary to see. And yeah, so Yamas, take it away with what have you been up to, and then we can move on to Sully and find out what he's been up to. She's been up to.
right. Okay. Um, Me, what I've been up to this week, work, 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 work. Um, Also doing finally running power to my shop. So I've been trenching in my own yard. I've dug up hubcaps. Uh, I've dug up tie rod arms, oil filters, all sorts of fun treasures. Uh, and Yeah, I've got a 400 amp meter socket installed, two 200 amp disconnects, and an extra 200 amp panel. I still have to run about 100 foot of 100 amp wire to my old shop. Depending on how things go, I may be without power in my shop for a couple weeks. I don't know. It depends on what I find when I'm digging. and how the transition goes. Um, but that being said, fun stuff. Haven't been I haven't lit the forge much outside of doing my Wednesday live streams. Uh, haven't had time to, but yeah. Um, I, I think that's it for me. I've been playing with my profile page on new social media uh, platform, and it's just like MySpace, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm just having a blast with it. I'm not going to go into it right now because it is crypto, um, and as I found, most of y'all don't really like, oh, crypto. um, but yeah, that's me. Sully, I will say, side note, the image that you sent the Impractical Blacksmiths chat, uh, if you have the ability to send a link of something, if you need me to read it out.
Well, it's just the first paragraph on that in that screenshot. That's all. That was just what I wanted to open with. But like I said, if I switch over to it, it's gonna mute me. So
Okay, I can read that then when it comes to it, and then you can
okay.
take back over. All right, I can do at least that.
Yeah. So my
When we
week
get to
my
it,
week has
yeah.
been fairly not too bad, I guess. I worked 2 days this week. One for 22 hours and one for 36 hours. So still managed to get a good weekend. And let's see, I've been off since Friday. Yeah, so 4 day weekend. I go back to work. I'll head back to work tomorrow evening probably. And so just enjoying a weekend with my kids and um, yeah, that is it. I think I'm gonna maybe work on cleaning out the shop a little bit. Trying to get that thing organized so I can get in there and get some stuff built. But for now, it's just yeah, just doing church and relaxing and having a good time. So that's my week.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've actually had a fairly productive week, apart from the rain, which is keeping my driveway really wet and boggy. I actually managed to get two posts concreted in order to start some sort of shed for my temporary workshop. And because it's near the shipping container, or relatively close to the shipping container, I actually managed to string up a tarpaulin and do some blacksmithing underneath the tarpaulin, so I actually got to swing a hammer this week. Yay! I made some
Nice.
I made some tack hooks for some for a gate for my partner's stables for her horses, so she can hang up bridles and ropes and all that type of stuff. So that was I was supposed to make eight. I did make eight, but only four fit because the measurements were slightly out. I didn't get them quite uh, production line type, um, doing the same thing over and over. They were slightly different measurements, but so one of them, so four of them were fit and four of them didn't. So I've got to go back and make four of them later on. But we've also been like this week, temperatures here have also been pushing up with the 40 degrees, and 90% humidity, and that's in Celsius, not freedom units. So it's been, I think 40 degrees is about 110 in freedom units and 90% humidity, so it's been really hot outside. So after doing that forging, it was like I'm not going back out there to suffer that through that again. But I have now got at least somewhere to work and to expand on when I have my next week off, and I'll just put a bit of a bigger roof on it and clear out some grass so I don't end up causing a bushfire, and have a little bit more permanent area to work, which is wonderful, which means I'll be able to start doing my videos again and bits and pieces. So stay tuned for that. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to have a video out next fortnight, but um, I will be, I'll be able to get back to my regular programming. And let's tell you what, it's such a relief to be able to swing a hammer again. And Coffee, Mr. Coffee, Squad Father, I hope you be able to get back out to your forge soon.
Yeah. I know. I know that you're all proper and everything with Fortnites and all that stuff. But I know that the word, the full word for tarp is tarpaulin, but it's so weird to hear it used casually in a sentence.
I know, right?
But okay.
Well, see,
Side note: I don't know if it's just me and my internet connection, but I was getting a circle of death for a moment, and the chat is hardly moving. So I don't know if people just aren't chatting or if my internet's just slow. So I'm going to go as if we've got 1,000 people in here, and
Yep.
the internet's perfect and everything's great. I'm just gonna
Yep.
live in my head for a little bit for this.
So,
Sure.
so,
Just let it ride.
so
Yeah.
two things. First thing, Fortnite is what we use for 2 weeks here. It's
I know.
Fortnite's general conversation, and we use tarp as well, but bit different.
You're being proper.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys used the word tarp, so I just used tarpaulin because everyone knows what a tarpaulin is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we actually, the word we use is plastic sheet covering. Okay, tarp is not an American. We use plastic sheet covering.
Well, look,
No,
we use
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
bin versus waste paper basket. Esky versus ice cooler or cooler. Like there are differences in
Cooler,
languages.
trash
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Cooler,
See,
trash can.
we use rubbish bin or bin. So there are differences in languages. So it's minor, but it's different enough.
To be fair,
To be fair.
this is a topic that very often comes up in the after show, guys. So, I think and unfortunately, that's a topic that one day me, Sully, and Adam went into it, and it went for probably about 5 or 6 hours of us discussing cultural linguistic differences. So we're not going to go into that right now because that will be the show. Instead, I believe it's time for me to open this up to P.P.E. And I have a screenshot to get us started, which will then switch over to Sulbert and his expertness. So, personal protective equipment from OSHA.gov overview. All right. What is personal protective equipment? Personal protective equipment, commonly referred to as PPE, is equipment worn to minimize exposure to hazards that cause serious workplace injuries and illnesses. These injuries and illnesses may result from contact with chemical, radiological, physical, electrical, mechanical, or other workplace hazards. Personal protective equipment may include items such as gloves, safety glasses and shoes, earplugs or muffs, hard hats, respirators or coveralls, vests, and full body suits. What can be done to ensure proper use of personal protective equipment? All personal protective equipment should be safely designed and constructed and should be maintained in a clean and reliable fashion. It should fit comfortably, encouraging worker use. If the personal protective equipment does not fit properly, it can make the difference between being safely covered or dangerously exposed. And that's all I can read on that.
Okay, now, so I wanted to go over PPE because I think that's something that we, as blacksmiths, we tend to take for granted in certain respects. I mean, I know even I know I'm supposed to be wearing my safety glasses, and oftentimes I'll just be sitting there going to town, and then I'm like, oh, they're on top of my head. Well, it's too late now. I'm already I've already got the piece out and swinging a hammer. And so, but it's not just the safety glasses. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can use for as PPE, and not even just in the workplace environment, but using them at home in your home shop or around your home. I mean, how many times have you gone out there with a weed eater in shorts and flip flops and just go to town with it, and then next thing you know you're like bleeding from your shin, or maybe that's just me. I'm not sure, but I
Me
mean,
too.
in all reality, I mean, you really should be, wearing at least, at the least, leather foot coverings and long pants, just to keep that debris from hitting you in the shins. But you don't think about that until you're out there and getting your shins whacked. So
Yeah.
Just an example of of something you do at home where sometimes you typically don't wear any PPE, well, when you really should, and especially safety glasses, because I don't think I've ever worn safety glasses while running a weed eater, and I can tell you I've had a chunk of vegetation bounce off my eyeball every single time, and then I'm going, oh, I should really be wearing glasses.
Right. On the glasses thing, like at work, I typically don't wear safety glasses. I mean, I should, but I don't. I now, because of something that happened, I think it was a year ago or a year or so ago, I wear safety glasses almost no matter what I'm doing ever, period. I was drilling a hole through a brick wall to bring a pipe from a outside disconnect into the crawl space, and something I've done literally thousands of times without safety glasses. And this one time, a piece of the brick just popped up and got in my eye, and I could not get it out, no matter how hard I tried. I had, my bosses try. I had to go to an eye doctor, and it cost $300 to pull it out. It's like, yeah. Since then, I've had safety glasses in the truck and in my work pouch. Anyway, sorry, Sully.
No, it's all good. Go ahead, Adam. What?
I'd say I'm the type of person that I've got because of the forge. I've got a box of safety glasses, and I always use safety glasses when I'm out, whippersnipping, or you guys call it weed whacking. I'm out whippersnipping or on the ride on the mower. Whenever I'm doing anything drilling, because it's a little known fact, but your eyes aren't actually recognized by your body. So if you get some sort of infection in your eye, your immune system will actually eat your eye because it's not recognized by your body. It's classified as a foreign object. So and we've only got one set of eyes, so I'd much prefer to look after my eyes and not get anything in them insofar as I can.
I've got a spare jar in the fridge. I mean, I borrow them.
The purpose of PPE, by all accounts, is to it's self-described. Personal protective equipment. It's to protect the wearer from damage from outside sources. If you think about it, you can even consider it to be a tool for increasing efficiency in your shop, because you're not having to stop to dig something out of your eye, or something to that effect. That was just kind of what I had, is like, because if you're sitting there and you get a piece of scale like hits you in the eyeball, and you're like, okay, well, hold on, you got to put everything down, go inside, get in the mirror, get a Q-tip, and just kind of see if you can dab that sucker out of there. Well, you just lost 15 minutes, at least. And so, wearing your proper PPE increases efficiency in the fact that you don't have to take time to stop to fix yourself up, on the occasion that something does go awry.
And that's best case scenario.
Another aspect that people don't really think about is your family. Because you wearing PPE doesn't just affect you, it also affects your family. Because if you're not wearing PPE, let's say, and you wind up getting a really decent injury, due to that, you might be out of work for a while, and you might need, your job to pay the bills, put food on the table, things like that. So your family can be indirectly affected by your decision to not wear PPE. And so that's also something to think about, is you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting your family. And that's really all I've got on the purpose and scope of it, and then we can get into the various types and what have you.
If I may say real quick, because I am seeing people bringing up boots and gloves and stuff. This is PPE. I should have relabeled this as PPE Part 1 of thousands. Sully has done extensive research on this. I mean, to the point of like the chemical composition of different types of PPE. Like how many molecules and stuff. Like, he's done extensive research. So today's topic of PPE is more generalized in safety glasses and eyewear and facial protection.
Right. Yeah, I've got 43 separate bullet points to go over for PPE, and I decided that we're going to limit today's discussion to about a half an hour. As far as just the bullet points, the discussion can go on indefinitely. I don't care, but I'm gonna do a half hour of what I got here, and that should be between 25% and half of what I've got. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's we don't have time to touch on all of it. Not in the at least.
we
This
will.
would be a 3 hour show if we tried to do it all in one day. But yeah, like the number one thing on the list that I have is safety glasses, and because that is it doesn't matter really what you do. I mean, short of sitting behind a computer all day, you could be in a position where you need safety glasses, and I mean, and that doesn't just necessarily have to be the same kind. I mean, there's smoked ones, there's clear ones, they got blue ones, they got yellow ones, there's cutting shades that are like the ones that are that dark green color. I don't know what their number is or whatever. And in the case of chemical exposure, there's safety goggles, and I mean, I realize those kind of look stupid, but they have a purpose of preventing splash from getting up into your eyes. Like if you're working with an acid or something like that, because whereas safety glasses prevents a frontal impact, they don't do a whole lot for a liquid splash, especially if there's a more violent than expected chemical reaction going on. Goggles will save your eyes, whereas safety glasses, maybe, so there are all kinds of different options out there, and one of the main things to consider that people don't think of, it's like, oh, I'll just go grab a pair of safety glasses, no big deal. Comfort plays a large part in whether or not you're wearing your safety glasses, because if they're uncomfortable, if they're bulky, if you can't see out of them very well, you're less likely to be using them. And so, I
Hmm.
mean, like I'm a very big proponent of actually, spending the money and getting good safety glasses. I mean, like when I was up in New Mexico, there was a place right down the street from where I worked that sold Wiley X safety glasses. Now these suckers I think were like $180 a pair. But man, I mean they were super super comfortable, and they're obviously shaded, so they're dark safety glasses, and of course stylish too. They look good, but the main point was they're super comfortable, and I wore them all the time. I mean, like that was like my pair of sunglasses, and they're my safety glasses. So I literally just had them with me all the time, and that was just because I went and spent the money on a good pair. But in any case, you don't have to spend $180 on a pair of Wiley X's. But what you do is try them on, see how they fit, and say to yourself, could I just wear these all day and not even notice that they're there? And if you can find a pair of safety glasses, or you can, so when you can find a pair of safety glasses that you don't even notice you're wearing, there you go. Bob's your uncle, so they say. But
Yeah, I know that my and this was like a life changer for me. Like this is awesome stuff. I went to the hardware store and picked up a couple pairs of $15 welding shade 5 welding and grinding glasses, cutting glasses or whatever. Um, just a plastic. It's basically the same design as the clear plastic general safety glasses, but shade 5 from Lincoln Electric, and holy cow, I use them. Those are my everyday sunglasses, and so I always, if I need a pair of sunglasses or safety glasses, I have those, and oftentimes I'll have the clear ones up on my forehead as well, and I'll be doubling up. um, but yeah, so
I,
really awesome. Amos, we're not singling you out. This has been planned for weeks.
yep. Okay, I was just going to go through some of the stuff
But
in the chat. So, Rob Huff said about using gloves near grinders. So, as a general rule, when you use, with any spinny or pinchy equipment, you shouldn't have any loose clothing. So, with grinders and stuff like that, so it's always been a rule around all the machinery that I've done: no gloves when working around grinders, or no loose clothing when around any sort of machinery that pulls or pinches, because of course you can lose a limb or a body into that sort of machinery. Also, coming back to it, uh, Bortkov says working in a medieval forge at the museum makes it difficult to wear modern PPE. I don't use power tools there though. So at the moment, we're specifically talking about glasses. I mean, there's a range of PPE, and I'll touch on one in a minute. But we're talking about safety glasses here. We understand that it all comes down to it all depends on your situation. Of course, if you're doing medieval reenactment, of course, wearing modern PPE might be a little bit difficult, because modern PPE didn't exist back then. But PPE for a period, like most of us wear aprons, that still will be classified as PPE. An apron is personal protective equipment that goes back centuries. So,
So now, just real quick, I was going to touch on that.
yep,
What you could do is like a pair of those steampunk type safety glasses, like Big Dog Forge made that one time. I
Yeah.
mean, that was those with the just the flat insertable or replaceable lenses. Those kind of things would be like period correct safety glasses.
Not necessarily period correct, but at least a period, so that it
Oh, I mean,
doesn't
because
look
they had
modern.
glass, and I mean, it is feasible that somebody could have made themselves a pair of safety goggles, but
Yeah, you may not have been used in medieval times, but definitely available back then. So one could argue that a blacksmith from
well, medieval
castle
may be a
times.
stretch.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right. They did have glass, so one could argue historically that while it may not be recorded that a blacksmith did have access to a form of eye protection, a historian would go, no, they didn't. But some Toron going, plastic safety glasses. That's not historically accurate.
and
So
Aaron Dennis said that he work at his work he's required to wear a safety vest, but at his forge that would be molten vinyl over his shirt. Again, PPE has to be appropriate for the job that you're doing. None of us would wear hazmat suits at a forge because A, they're generally vinyl or some sort of flammable material, and B, you don't want to end up that considering it's a full body and generally non-breathable, we'd end up in a puddle of sweat and probably die from dehydration and heat exhaustion. So
so
your
so
PPE is situationally appropriate as well.
So don't wear a vinyl gimp suit while forging.
No, it's not recommended, I'd
Oh,
say. Sully, what do you reckon? Does he wear? I'd near on pay to see
I,
Yarmouth wear vinyl gimps.
I'm inclined to say no, but I'd pay good money to see that.
Yeah.
I'd pay good money for a gimp suit.
I don't know if they make one that you could fit into. I mean, that's kind of a stretch, don't you think?
Oh,
Oh.
I'm gonna go on a diet as I sit here off camera eating a bag of donuts.
Now, Mountain Home Ford just said, if you wear prescription glasses, finding safety glasses can be a pain in the behind. Uh,
They
there's
do
two,
make the over glasses.
and there's actually two things. I'm not sure how it is where you're located at Mountain Home, but here in Australia, you can actually, if you're required to wear safety glasses, our employers are actually required to pay if you wear prescription glasses as well. They're actually most places are required to either provide those over pairs, which are basically plastic safety glasses that go over your prescription glasses, or provide you with a pair of prescription safety glasses, which can be made. They are a little bit more expensive. Not sure about where you are if that's something that can happen, but you can get prescription safety glasses as well. So that's the thing. Just to let you know.
They are a bit pricey, but yeah, they're out there. My cousin who swamps for me, he's got prescription safety glasses, the shaded ones that he wears every day. That in about every 2 or 3 years, he's got to buy a new pair because he finally gets them so scratched up he can't see through them. But they're yeah, I mean, heck, because without the prescription glasses, he can't see nothing. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
the where's the see and well actually I didn't even think about this, but well I did, but it's in a different section, but I'll touch on it now. A face shield. I mean, like some of us have them, some of us don't. I mean, it's
I
like
think that fits into eye protection.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
eye and face.
And
Without going into respiratory, eye and
right.
face.
Right, and that was kind of somehow that wound up on a different line, but in any case, a face shield is, I mean, maybe I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I don't even own one, and I've never used one. Um, but I also keep my face out of the line of disintegration, so to speak. So like, when you start a jet engine, you never stand in line with the turbine because if the engine fods out, it'll shell the turbine and the blades come out, at like the speed of bullets, and it'll just pepper you with turbine blades. So you never stand in line with the turbine. Well, by the same account, like a chop saw, my body is never in line with that 14-inch composite blade. The only thing that's in line with it is my wrist, where my hand is reaching over the top to pull the trigger and push down on the handle. Should I be wearing a face shield when I'm doing that? Of course I should be. I should be wearing one when I'm cutting with a cutoff wheel on my angle grinder, but I don't have one, so I do wear safety glasses, and maybe someday I'll get a face shield, but I almost bought one a little while back, but then I thought, I really should really wait until I get the one with the forced air thing, and just get all of that in one shot. Because if I just buy the cheaper version right now, that's all I'm going to wind up ever getting. So I'm waiting to save up and get the good stuff like Adam has.
I
Yeah.
would,
Adam, I would say I did message you. Switch over to the Out of the Metal Forge chat on Discord live so that you can share the picture that Rob sent. Just production tip. But yeah, Jim Patterson, brings up a good point too for safety glasses. It's like if you have the prescription safety glasses, you have to wear them all the time, or you can't see. So it's boom, protection.
That's it. And when
Uh,
now Sally actually brings up a good point about like face shields and uh, buying what you can afford. Now, I bought a face shield about 2 years ago, and it was cheap. And by cheap, I mean the cheapest I could get. Um, and it was horrible. And horrible as in not only did it not fit properly, but it was really hard to see through. Now, when you're working on a grinder or an angle grinder or something like that, where you want to use a face shield in order to protect your face and your eyes, you've got to be able to see through it. So sometimes it's worth bearing in mind spending that little bit, 10, 15, $20 extra in order to buy something that's a little bit better quality, uh, is well worth the investment in. Particularly if you treat them well, of course, as everyone knows here, the better you treat your tools and your equipment, the longer they last. But it's also, it improves your safety as well because you can't see, you can't you can't hit, you can't grind, you can't do what you want to do because you can't see it.
yeah, yeah, that goes into the comfort and workability of it. You got to be able to use it. You got to be able to work efficiently while wearing it. If you can't, you got to get a little bit more better stuff.
Hmm.
I tell you, I know it's not quite face, but it's like when I'm wearing my grinding shield, just a cheap face shield, and I'm at my grinder. It's like I've had the belt snap on me and whack me off the top of the head. It's like, oh, So I at least wear one of my, a hat, one of my gaiters out in the shop. But yeah, I eventually would love to get one of them like full on respiratory, badass, $700, PPE helmets, you know. But
Oh, I mean, we'd all love to buy top of the line, top of the range PPE, and I'm sure if we all spent, seven, eight, $900 on PPE, we'd definitely wear it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person, if I've spent money on something, I'm going to use it, or I'm going to get the most out of it. So, but that's me because I'm a miser. Um, so that's what I try to do, but we can't all afford. We're not all, superstar YouTube Smiths. I'd like to think I am, but that's not the way it goes. And so we can't afford top of the line equipment. So when it comes to PPE, of course, spend what you've got. There's only one you. You've only got one set of eyes. You've only got um, a pair of hands. You've only got two thumbs, and all those things. These parts of you, and speaking to each and every one of you in our audience, these parts of you aren't replaceable. You know, don't sure you can get an arm graft and stuff like that, but that's not your arm. You don't have any spare parts. You don't come with extra bits. So just remember, guys, that investing in PPE is an investment into yourself, and an investment into protecting yourself, your most vital tool going forward. And that's just my opinion. So,
yeah,
Sully, it's like, say something, back me up here. Come on, don't leave me
I
dangling
mean,
in the
you,
wind.
you can you can talk. I'm getting a little internet sucky glitch right now, but you can talk all you want about people not having spare parts and stuff laying around. But I mean, like I said, I got a jar full of eyes. I'm good to go. But not everybody can be as me.
Yeah,
No,
and
yeah, you're right. You can't. This is stuff that you get one of unless you're lucky enough to be able to afford transplants.
right. And that's what I was gonna say. It's like, yeah, you can get an eye replaced, but to be fair, you're not even gonna qualify for an eyeball transplant unless you lose them both. I do have a friend or had a friend up in. Well, I mean, we're not. I'm not saying he's not around. I'm just saying, I haven't spoken to him in like 10 years, but he has some sort of eye disease where maybe it's macular degeneration. I don't know, but his eyes slowly get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so, like when I knew him, he was already on his second set of eye, and it was weird because well, I mean, whatever, but the color and all that is just like it wasn't right. I mean, like this guy's a Hispanic fella, fairly dark complexion and these bright blue eyes, and it's like, wow, what's up with that? And he's like, hey, I got these ones when I was 16, and whatever, and at the time when at this time his new set was starting to or the new set that he'd had for about 10 years now was starting to degrade to the point where he could not get a driver's license again. And so he was, very shortly going to be back on the list for another set of eyeballs. And
Yeah,
so you can get a new set, but yeah, I really wouldn't recommend it.
it'll cost you.
Yeah, it's much better just to keep the ones you got and take care of them because, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're yours, and it just is what it is. So.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, like safety glasses are probably the easiest and most overlooked piece of PPE that we could use every single day in our day-to-day lives that is taken for granted. You take your eyes for granted because you've always had them, they've always been there, and usually, I mean, speaking for myself, it takes me getting something bouncing off my eyelid or close to it to go, oh, my safety
yeah.
glasses are on my head, not on my eyes. And I mean, like clockwork, I'll have a piece of scale bounce off an eyelid or even land in
That's
my eye. and I'm like, ah, man, I'm an idiot. Ah, where are my safety glasses? Then I'll spend 10 minutes looking for them around my shop, going, man, they're supposed to be right here. Where? And somebody took off with my safety glasses, and then I go inside and I go to dig the piece out of my eye, and there's my safety glasses on my forehead.
Yeah. No, I'm not sleeping. I'm here. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you,
Okay.
but
No, I'm not sleeping. I'm listening.
Robert Lunas shared a picture. What did he get?
The Selstrom face shield.
Advantage series, full safety mask. Right on. So yeah, I mean, and you know what? I'm honestly, I think we're gonna have to call that the scope of PPE for today. Holy crap! I did not get anywhere close to as much stuff in as I thought I was going to. But yeah, we've gone about a half an hour, and really just talked about safety glasses and face shields. And I could probably cross off forced air face shield and SCBA as well. But
Yeah, we briefly touched on them. I mean, and that brings up like the discussional aspect. Like, if like anybody, the chat's going crazy. It's like anybody got any thoughts or whatever can improve on community discussion. We're not here to lecture.
right. I mean, like that's. I think I covered enough for for continued discussion and whatever, and we can revisit some of this other stuff at a later date. It's not going to be like back to back next week. It's going to be the same thing. It might be a month or two, and we'll pick up like maybe respiratory protection or gloves or body frontal protection. What else do I got? Gosh, I mean, like the list goes on. Legs, foot coverings, tools, tool holders. I mean, like I got all kinds of stuff here. And it's going to take us some time to get through, but that's okay. We'll call the discussion fair on safety glasses and face coverings. And does anybody have any horror stories you'd like to share? Because those are always motivational. Like that one time when I was standing there and trying to cut titanium with an angle grinder, and the wheel exploded on me, and
Well,
I was dumbfounded. I was like, wow,
I do actually have a
it's not
story.
in me, is it?
I do actually
Huh?
have it. I personally have a story about PPE and particularly face shields and helmets and safety glasses. Many years ago, when I was working, as many of you know, particularly from our discussion about rebar and its properties, I worked for a reinforcement company. Now, I worked on a machine called an MEP, which is an Italian company that does off-coil machinery, and I was working on 16 mil coil. So we have 16 tons, 2 tons of 16 millimeter bar that comes off a coil and gets straightened by this machine and bent into various shapes. And just before I finished up my employment there, and it's part of the reason why I finished my employment there is because I was loading a 16 mil coil onto the machine. And the winch that we use to drag the bar into the straightening dies actually let go. And I was wearing a face shield which looked like a hockey mask, over the top of a pair of safety glasses and my hard hat inside the cage. We had caged off areas in order to prevent people just walking in and getting injured by these machines. And like I said, the winch let go, and I caught this piece of sprung 16 mil coil with my face. Now,
Oof.
it knocked me. It's the only time I've ever been knocked unconscious. It knocked me out for about 15 minutes, and the only reason why um, I was found was because one of my bosses had wondered why I was taking so long and why my machine wasn't running, and he found me unconscious. But it shattered my face mask, the face shield. It split the safety glasses I was wearing underneath in half, and it cracked my helmet. Now, had that piece of steel hit me without any safety gear on, it probably would have penetrated my skull, and I'd probably not be here. So when it comes to personal protective equipment, particularly around the face and head, yep. I'm a firm
Yeah,
believer in it because it saved my life.
absolutely. And you don't think of it until it happens. You know, holy cow, that helmet, glove, eyewear, saved my life. Yeah, I got injured, knocked out, and hurt myself, but it could have been so much worse. I would like, if I may, add, I don't want to call it a caveat, but a small thing, more of a PPE related courtesy. Okay. Um, and this goes back to a situation that happened at a quad state. And if you are a guest in somebody's shop and that person's PPE standards aren't up to yours, it is not necessarily your place to tell them what to do in their own shop. Okay. You can do everything you can for you, but as a courtesy, when you're a guest in a shop, you don't necessarily comment or try to tell somebody what to do in their own shop. Um, you can pull them aside and mention it, but for example, if now I know Roy wears his PPE or whatever, so, like say I'm at a class at Roy's and he isn't wearing his safety glasses or he isn't wearing a helmet or something. Oh, hey Roy. And is surrounded by people and all I'm doing is ragging on him for not wearing his safety glasses. He has every right to kick me out of his shop because whether I'm right or wrong, it's his shop. You know what I mean? It's that courtesy line of, yeah, probably should be wearing safety glasses, but or wearing PPE, but it isn't your place to tell that person.
I agree there, yeah, mate, but on that same note, like if I go to someone's shop and their safety standards aren't up to mine, I will wear PPE to my safety standards.
Oh, absolutely.
So because like I'm not risking my eyes, my clothes, whatever, because you want to be lax on safety. But I mean that's the same. That comes back to the same argument about guards on grinders. I'm 100%. Guards are built to be put on grinders and they can move around. There's no excuse to take them off. But a lot of people work without them. I'd rather my fingers. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, absolutely. Far be it from me for me or anybody to tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do. And all we can do in this show is tell you kind of the here's what it is, and then it is entirely your prerogative to take it or leave it. Um,
Right. I mean, and none of this is like new information. Every single person in this chat knows about safety glasses, has safety glasses, wears safety glasses on occasion. But the point isn't really that that nobody knew about it, but it's more about just a gentle reminder that hey, these things can be important, and it's easy to take your eyes for granted, especially that, because that's the easiest for me. That's the easiest thing to forget, and and so it's kind of like the reason that I work in the oil field, and we have a safety meeting. Well, day shift has a safety meeting every morning before everybody gets started. And something that what is said every single day. I've been doing this for 20 years, and every single day, at some point during the safety meeting, somebody says. Everybody needs to have their proper PPE. That includes hard hat, steel toe boots, safety glasses, fire retardant clothing, H2S monitor. Go all over all this. But every day, they say every one of those things because you have to have that on out on location. And if you don't have it on and somebody calls you out, they will kick you off location and send you to the house. And
oh yeah.
Sometimes if an oil company kicks you off location, you're not ever allowed back. And if you're not ever allowed back, well, we don't need you anymore then.
I
So I
was
mean,
more talking about in a home
not wearing
shop.
your safety glasses can cost you your job. I mean,
Yeah.
in what I do, and
I
so
was I was more talking about a home shop, but yeah, if it's a requirement at work, if it's a requirement at work,
well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
we're the
Sorry.
discussion is mostly focused around your home shop because I mean, if you have PPE requirements at work, of course you wear that. But I was making a comparison as to why I was bringing it up. It's not to harp on anybody or act like nobody knew about their PPE, but just a general reminder that hey, when you're at home, this stuff might be important too, not just at work. And
Yes.
And
Yeah. Yeah. That's
as
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I see the connection. I was just going to say, yeah. If I was going to go right there with you, if it's a requirement at a job, you kind of lose the right to say, I don't want to. Like yeah, you can say I don't want to and then not do it, but then you don't work there no more. I mean, I was just reading the chat. I read what Dylan Corwin said, and I'm like, eye stuff creeps me out. Um,
mm. And like
I don't even know.
as Aimless said, particularly at home, like most of us will have to or have at some stage worn PPE for an occupation, a job, but it's really easy to get complacent at home. I don't know how many people that I personally have known to mow their lawns in what we call thongs, what you guys might call flip flops or sandals. Um, and that's with a push mower. And it's really easy, and I did it as a teenager, to stick your foot underneath a running lawnmower, and a great way to lose toes. I nearly did. Nearly did. I was wearing sneakers at the time, and it tore up the ends of my sneakers and nearly took off a toe. So it's home workshops and doing stuff around the home is the easiest place to get complacent when it comes to your personal safety. So we're kind of, me particularly, I will harp on on a situation like this and about PPE, or if someone comes to my shop, and I've kicked people out of my shop and told them to go away and never come back because they refused to meet my level of safety when it comes to working in my shop. They didn't want to wear safety glasses, and they didn't want to wear an apron. It was like, okay, well, because you don't want to do that, you can go away and don't come back until you're ready to, work to my safety. When we were using angle grinders, here's some hearing protection because I don't want to be blamed for you going deaf. It's
Yeah,
and you have every right to do that. Just because it's your personal workshop and you're at home, you can enforce your standards up to your
yeah,
standards, as well. And so Yami was saying, don't harp on someone else's shop about their safety standards, and that's fair. But at your workshop, you can enforce your safety standards. And I would, as long as if your safety standards are above my safety standards, I would meet your safety standards if coming to visit your workshop,
cause
and that's how I work.
yeah, yeah, meet or exceed.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
Roy's over here not making friends, but yeah, absolutely. I'm just I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat and reading these horror stories because one of you guys asked for any horror stories and they're coming in.
well, I mean, but they're all a good learning experience for all of us. I
Absolutely,
mean,
yeah. I know somebody had mentioned Steve Schleicher's, from North Country Forge. His,
North County Forge.
North County. Ooh, sorry.
Oh,
I really don't mean to lump him in with the. Yeah, I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like he had the infamous beard incident. Now this guy, if you guys haven't seen North Country Forge, go check him out. He's a badass. He's awesome, and I can only say that because he's not here. Um, in person, I will trash talk him down like a panda, you know. Um, but he's a good guy. He had big old bushy beard, and got it caught in a uh, wire brush on the grinder and ripped half of his beard off of his face. Not just like had, got it stuck and had to cut it. Ripped the hair off of his face. It was violent. And
It was wound up so tight it burned up the angle grinder fast before he could get it shut off.
yeah. So imagine Rob Huff's beard, but ripped in half. I'm gonna make everybody pucker up right there. But yeah, so it's like,
And see, the simple fact that we all have these horror stories and we all know these horror stories, if we haven't lived through them personally, we know someone who has.
yeah,
Another example is I have a friend of mine that I practice HEMA with that has lost her pinky and a couple of her joints of her fingers and stuff like that because she was working a bandsaw and slipped and cut through part of her hand before she even realized it was gone. And they reattached most of it, but like these are accidents that can happen through either inattention or lack of safety equipment. And we all know someone or have experienced personally some sort of safety or PPE related accident, and that's the reason why we want to see everyone. I personally want to see everyone healthy and happy and being able to work for a long time. So I will. I
is it
will.
bad that I want to go cook some hot dogs for lunch now?
cut with Ventil.
Man, that little
Huh, Sully?
I was gonna say that little bandsaw story just like, oh, talk about. I just had this mental image of like a little bit of a slip forward and it's like and it's like oh pucker
Now,
factor
I
10
will
right there.
I will in no way, shape, or form promote viewing workplace accidents for entertainment purposes. However, if you need a little bit of motivation to wear at least the basic PPE, go to Reddit and search up the Darwin Awards and watch a few videos.
Mhm.
You will be wearing bubble wrap in your shop. You'll be like, I'm gonna wear all of this, everything. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just walking through my shop. So you need your boots, your leathers, your helmet, your gloves, your eye protection, your ear protection, just to walk through your shop. Oh yeah.
And that brings up a really good point there, because again, like I was saying before, the is about me kicking someone out of my shop because they wouldn't wear an apron and glasses. My minimum standard of footwear in my shop is fully enclosed shoes. I let people get away with
Oh yeah.
sneakers, but I prefer boots. And I know that's not the standard everywhere, but for me, you don't go. Even I don't step in my shop without boots on. That's just me. And I know what's in there.
So Adam, just out of curiosity, if that's your standard, and if Big Fudge were to come by your shop and roll up in there in his flip flops, would you tell him to leave and not come back?
I'd tell him to get the hell out until he put shoes on. Yep, absolutely.
Yep. It doesn't matter who. If Roy were to come to my shop and he were to be like, all right, I'm ready to work, and he's, not wearing any pants, and be like, as much as this is a dream, no, put on some pants. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. Okay.
If we were there with a kilt on, you'd probably let him go. But I'd be a bit iffy about a kilt too.
I personally have no problem in forging and working in shorts. A lot of people do. I do not. Okay. Now, speaking of all that, of Roy not wearing pants or nothing, but back to the chat real quick. There was a couple things that caught my eye. One was Roy going, I only get involved if I have to. Mostly I don't engage because I don't have the patience anymore to have an argument with someone who has 1 year of experience and all the answers. Yeah, it's sometimes you can lead a horse to water, but you can't hold their head under and drink. And there was something else that I read, saw, or popped something in my head. but I can't remember.
Do you remember?
Do you remember?
We don't want to
No,
be.
never mind.
I was going to say we don't want this removed from YouTube, guys.
Yeah. Oh, we're so off
I
tune.
don't think I'm that good. So
You never know.
But yeah, Mr. Mad Fox. Yeah, like it's exactly. I can't even go anywhere. This freaking Dylan Corwin's thanking me for, the image of Steve without a beard. I know that's horrifying in itself. But yeah, it's talking about kicking somebody out of the forge and whatnot. It doesn't matter who. It's if you have your safety standards, okay. It's a matter of liability when they're on your property. If they're on your property and they get hurt, it's your fault. Okay. And it's like, if they get pissy because of that, that is not somebody you want in your shop. Whether it's, big famous black, like if Ed Brazil came over and said, I ain't wearing no eye protection, I never have it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, then stand over there in the safety zone. I apologize, sir. I know you're experienced. I know you probably do this without safety glasses all over the place. But like, if you're in my shop and you get injured, I'm not responsible. I'll make somebody sign a waiver if I have to. But like in general, it's like, no, you got to have that respect of the person that you're forging with.
sure.
Everybody's harping on me having Roy, pantless, Winnie the Poohing in my shop.
Why doesn't Winnie the Pooh wear pants?
But I fully agree with the Ez. I mean, going down to Sam's place, if Sam kicked me out of his workshop because I didn't meet his safety standards, I'd fully understand, because he's liable to some degree for my safety whilst I'm on his property. Like even if it's just to the point of negligence. He was reasonably able to foresee that I'm in a dangerous environment, and I as his friend, and if I came and visited any one of you guys, me as your friend would not want to put you in a position where you're liable for me.
Yeah.
Because you're my friend, and
where it really gets, a friend or somebody paying for the experience is one thing, and where it really gets kind of hairy in a social situation is when you have a lot of people at your shop, and a lot of people at your shop, and a lot of people, different personalities, different safety standards, and it's like, you get like one person who's just like, no, I'm gonna party, I also like to live dangerously. It's like, no. It becomes a public scene then, and that's it. Just for the respect, it's like, don't make the owner of the shop yell at you in front of everybody. It makes everybody uncomfortable. I don't know.
yeah, no, exactly.
But yeah.
Sense.
To answer Trail Dust's question, no, I have 17 likes and 22 viewers. So y'all need to smoosh that like button and like that smoosh that like button. Yeah, that stuff. And I know that it hasn't come up yet. However, since I've already established it, of the three of us, the Impractical Blacksmiths, whoever is currently hosting a live stream from their locale, any super chats or whatever that come through, they would get the profits from that. It hasn't been an issue, so whatever. But yeah. Because I mean, squirrel just happened to me,
Yeah.
guys.
So what you're saying is when I'm running the stream, and I send in a super chat that I get my super chat back, right?
Well, you get 30% of it because I'm not giving you YouTube's cut as well. For
All
example, say somebody
Yeah, no,
would
I
send a
know.
$10 super chat.
So
Island Metal Forge only gets $7 of that a month from now.
yep, and guys, just remember that if
Right.
it's all in US dollars, and the I think it's US for Australian, it's Australia gets $1.30 or something US at the so it's US dollar is worth more. So
Yeah,
if you actually donate to the channel at the moment, because I'm hosting it, it would actually end up being slightly more.
he gets, yeah. This isn't me begging for
No, me either.
for
I'm
super
just
chats.
I'd never beg
Just
for
kind
money.
of, we're doing something. If and I apologize to drag this away from safety, but yeah,
Oh, it's fine. We can go
more,
wherever.
yeah, more on a topic of how the show is going and what we're planning, and today was actually kind of a really good example, if impromptu, example of if one of us has issues, the show can go on, and from the back end, how that works is me, Sully, and Adam are a team in this, so yeah, we're working on this together. Uh, elevates them, as I've said several times before, uh, more than just guests and co-hosts. They are an integral part. Am I saying this right? Integral. I'm not reading a chat. I'm just looking at it.
Integral.
Part of the Island Metal Forge ecosystem. To the point where it is no longer. While this is an Island Metal Forge channel, it is at the Blacksmiths Church. It is the Impractical Blacksmiths hosting on Island Metal Forge channel.
Yeah, and the way we've structured it today, guys, was completely impromptu because everything was working absolutely sweet on Yarmez's end right up till about 30 seconds after he clicked go live, and then we started getting the ring of death. And it was like, well, I'm on tonight. We've got to really try and get something going.
I've got my little ISP meter thing running, and I'm still getting a little bounce on my service, like it's going full, half, less. So I don't know if my voice is coming clear or not, but like it's right now it's in the red. All right.
Thanks.
Test the Aussie or the USD to Aussie beer fund.
Thanks for that, Rob.
All right. So in a month you will get 30%, 70% of $5.
Yep. So that's 70% of $5 US, which will transfer to slightly for whatever it is in US.
About $5.
Yeah, I'll actually get about $5. There you go.
In Australian.
Yeah. So that will buy me roughly a schooner down the pub.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know what size a schooner is, but a schooner is a standard. It's like it's not
Bigger than a
pint.
And it's not a pint. It's smaller than a pint. Yes, but
here I thought y'all could drink.
So that's probably a 10-ounce pour, what we call a chalice.
No, it's
No?
see, but your
milliliters?
ounces are different to US ounces are different to imperial ounces. So it's about 16 fluid ounces, I believe a schooner is.
Yeah, and okay, that's what we
so
call
a red solo cup.
Okay, that's a pint. Yeah, 16 ounces or 375 milliliters.
Yeah.
So it's about a red solo cup.
Yeah, but but we call a pint bigger than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we say a pint, we're talking about an imperial pint, which is about 20 ounces, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So so we say a pint is an imperial pint, and then the 16 ounce or 15 to 16 ounce is a schooner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And see, and we don't even have an imperial pint as far as like a measurement for a pour. Ours are if I go to Buffalo Wild Wings and I'm like, yeah, give me a pint of Guinness, it's a 16-ounce pour. So And my only other option is a 22, which is, I mean, we don't actually have a word for it because it's just a tall. And that's, I don't know, maybe that's a point of irritation with me is like sometimes I'll get a new server or something like that or a new bartender and I'll be like, yeah, what do you want? There's a pint of Guinness and they're like, short or tall? And I'm like, yeah, short. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I
I
mean,
will
I
say
know that.
this. I will say this. We are etching dangerously close to after chat topic. After show topic.
Yeah.
So with that, I have put the link to the Discord in. I am figuring that we can move over to Blacksmiths Church regular chat instead of being a stage, and anybody who wants to join in and chit chat can, and we'll keep the party going for a bit.
Alrighty. Well, on that
With that,
note,
we'll probably start ending this.
So, thanks for joining us, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you'd like to suggest a topic, a metal or tool of the week, you can let us know via email at islandmetalforge@gmail.com or drop it into the hashtag middle of the week on the Discord. Links in the description. We go live every week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday here on YouTube, and you can join us in the chat as well, or you can join us in the live discussions via the Discord under that same link under the Blacksmith Church stage. That's 12:30 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time, Sunday night, early Monday morning. Check against your local time for when to join. To see more from Yamez, you can find him at Island Metal Forge on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can find Sully at Transcendental Artist Studios on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And me, Adam, you can find on Speargrass Forge on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram also. So after saying all that, and I know I got Sally's channel rights today. Yep. Sally, do you have any final thoughts?
Today we touched on a subject that most people might consider to be bland or boring or whatever, but I still think it's an important one. And so with that, just kind of keep that stuff in mind when you go out to your shop today or tomorrow or next week, whatever. Just keep that in mind. Keep us in mind, and the fact that we all want you to be here next week and the week after that and the week after that. We don't need any of you guys laid up in the hospital with half of a grinder wheel in your eyeball. So get out there, make something, wear your PPE, and most importantly, have fun doing it. And you're going to have fun when you don't get hurt. So that's all I got. Y'all have a great week.
My final thought before we switch to, after show is, which again, all of you are invited to, is on the show itself. Remember, this show grows like a TV show. You tell your friends, hey, we spend Sunday mornings over here. Let people know that what we're doing. Let people know that it's a fun time. I mean, if it is a fun time, I can't say it's a fun time for me, but I think Rob Huff sits there and giggles like a schoolgirl whenever we're live. So I'd imagine he's trying to get his entire friends group. But yeah, share the show when we're live and let people know that we're doing what we do. And let's turn this into a party. On that note, now Adam gets to find out why it takes 3 minutes for me to shut the stream off after I end it.
No worries there, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to join us next Sunday, same time, same bat channel, and we'll see you all next time.